Okay, facilitators needed for the Family Honesty Workshop and the Family Honesty Times. This concept of the Family Honesty Times is one of the greatest and most important things that we together can do for the human family. I mean the human family, not just the American, North American, comfy, fat, rich, idle, stuck in their entertainments. One of the greatest things that we can do for the whole human family is the Family Honesty Workshop. We need to develop facilitators who really know their stuff. Here's the bottom line. In the descriptions, you are going to see a TED Talk thing by Brad Blanton. Brad Blanton has created the Radical Honesty Project. And in that Radical Honesty Project, there is a promoting of getting together and developing real open honesty about ourselves and about one another. Challenging things. Okay? So, Brad Blanton is a little coarse in the way he talks. He's tough and rough, and he uses a little bit of stinky language here and there. Do not be offended by the words that he uses for emphasis. Remember Romans chapter 2. There is a God who knows that some people are ignoring spirits and spiritual information, partly because they have seen how much fakery is going on and because they have been abused by spiritual religious people. So there are people who operate by conscience that will be accepted by God on the final day, when other people who talk to God stuff and say that they love God, it will be discovered that they didn't care to actually put in effect the instructions and information that God had provided. So, with that as a preface, the Family Honesty Workshop is, first of all, a number one crime. First of all, a non-religious project for the atheist, the unbeliever, the person who's not doing the God stuff. It's an opportunity to give ordinary people a chance to practice being honest with their families and their kids and their friends in a way that's pleasant and cheerful, useful, successful, and that drives out depression and suicide, addictive behavior, escapist behavior, hopelessness, greed, and many other things. Just through opening up and being honest about some of the stuff that are troubling us. Again, we make this rule. You don't have to be honest about everything. Just the things that are sitting inside that you feel like you need some love and help with. need for facilitators. Now, I'm not going to take on very many people as facilitators. You have to have a high caliber. If you're going to be a facilitator for the Family Honesty Project, you have to know how to communicate without using religious jargon and terms. You're only going to use basic descriptive terms to help people flow smoothly in a little cluster with their friends and family. You are going to facilitate through using simple terms that are not loaded with problems and a need for deep religious spiritual definitions. Because many of these terms like gospel and evangelize and sin and repentance, many of these words and terms are actually poorly defined or undefined. Even the word pastor, poorly defined, undefined, thrown around a whole lot, and actually not engaged in the way that Jesus of Nazareth, Son of God, and his rough, tough apostles, commercial fishermen, and drug dealer, tax collector types, all those terms have got to be redefined in a spirit of compassion to give understanding. So if you want to be a facilitator, you got to be able to watch that Brad Blanton film, and you actually have to be able to gently and spiritually pull out the points that he's making that are eternally valuable, and pull out points that are what you might call half-truths or double-minded or confusing. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. And so the Family Honesty Project has two basic approaches. The basic approach and the advanced approach. The advanced approach are only for people who have the audacity of declaring that they are disciples of Jesus of Nazareth, willing to die, willing to be lined up and shot or beaten to death just because they have a happy comfort about the supernatural visitor, the Son of God guy. Okay, so the advanced atmosphere is totally different. And in it, there are some extremely challenging points and practices that most religious and spiritual people are not so accustomed to. So this is a real cool work. Happy Sunday, people. Facilitators are needed. Let's talk. I'm telling you, this is a world-changing wave of activity. One of the greatest things is the simplicity of the whole deal. It is not complicated at all to help a family that's having some real problems. It's not a problem at all to help a family that is fostering children that are aging out of foster care without a whole bunch of religious confusion. It is not difficult at all to help a family that has an addicted loved one by developing little 15-minute family honesty throwdown times with funny little scripts of how we're going to look out for each other and how to introduce our little hidden problems. Remember, let's repeat this together. 1, we tend to hide stuff. 2, when we hide stuff, we get physically sick and we go crazy. Number 3, you don't have to be honest about everything or confess everything, but give it a real good try so that the people that care about you are thinking about the things that are driving you a little crazy inside. And a couple days later, they may show up with a total solution to what you're worried about, like falling off a log. They may take your worries away from you because you've just been honest about a little thing. Like, I have a relationship that needs repair. I need a peacemaker or mediator. My friend Sally, who I've always loved the most, I've been estranged from her, and I need somebody to help us get on the same wavelength again. And if somebody hears that, and understands that, then kabam, they can actually become the mediator and the peacemaker, all by surprise, just by you saying one little thing. And your friend Sally at school can become your friend again. How awesome is that? And you can say, hey, I have this personality problem. I'm tired of my personality. I wish I could be a whole lot more like this and a lot less like that. Oh gosh, it's frustrating. Well, you know, in a situation like that, it helps people who have had to deal with your bad personality understand that you're not happy about your bad behavior, and they can become more compassionate with you. So anyhow, these things are basic things about taking the time, fighting the war, fighting against the busy monster that eats holes in the piece of our lives. If we can fight against the busy monster that is eating our lives up and sit together and open our hearts a little bit, we can actually save one another from suicide and drug overdoses and a whole bunch of other junky stuff. This is real. And it does not take a whole big fancy professional hoo-ha. You can look at the videos, you can do the stuff at home, you don't need to contact me, you don't need to use me as a facilitator. But it is a little easier when you have a stranger come in and help start something, because you tend to have bitter attitudes and offenses towards each other. And sometimes people will resist communicating just because of their little offenses towards one another. So when you have a positive stranger come in, the whole spirit in the room can change. That's why the whole idea of facilitators to get the ball rolling is valuable and good and pleasant and important. So, think about it. Think about being a facilitator. Think about just taking the ball and running with this and doing it on your own. You don't need to contact me. You don't need to do anything with me. You can look at what I've done and mess around with it and make it better. And go out and do it. Go shake hands with people. Say, listen, do you want to prevent suicide and depression and addiction in your family? Can I please help you? Look at these videos. I'm willing to come for free and be a facilitator. That's the game. I am not doing this to make money. I am not doing this to make money. I am doing this because I needed this practice. I needed this myself since I was 6 years old. I had stuff that was going on in my family. I had stuff that was going on in my school. Nobody knew about it. I had stuff going on with me. I needed to talk about stuff. And there was no happy, cheerful, focused work of family honesty times in 61 years of my life, especially not in what they call the churches, which is where Jesus told people that ought to be going on. So, hunting for facilitators, contact me at grandpahonestyguy@gmail.com, grandpahonestyguy@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook, Grandpa Honesty Guy, motivational speaker page, Facebook. Communicate with me. Let's talk. Let's do this. We can saturate. We can do it this by video. We can do video visit. And we're doing 2 levels. We're doing basic and we're doing advanced. And advanced has a lot of details in it. I have not sketched them all out. But each person who is a facilitator needs to train the people in the family, or a couple of people in the family, about how to speak out the daddy list, which is the list of ways that we human beings tend to just be dumb and hopeless and weird and dopey and just mess ourselves up. That's the daddy list. You need to learn how to work with the daddy list in a fun way and teach it to other people. There's a daddy list for the basic, and then there's a daddy list for the advanced that will knock your socks off, because it's like high calling stuff. It's intrepidare stuff. It's tenacity stuff. It's war against hate and evil and fakery and selfishness and greed, blindness and ignorance. The Advanced Family Honesty Workshop is very intense. It's very awesome. And it's primarily producing children who are absolutely free from the stupid, blind, ignorant, excessive life in North America that I woke up in, that I was born in. My mission is mission to North America. When Yahweh proved to me that he was real, I said, oh no, I don't like Christianity. It's all fake. There's something fake about it. I can't even put my finger on it. And I know that people get brainwashed and caught up in stuff that's somewhat good, but it's like incomplete, and there's something wrong, there's something missing. I don't want to go in those places. Can I go to another part of the world and never go back to America? Please. Because I toured Russia and I toured Europe and saturated in the lives of internationals through my mother, who was a dean of foreign students. I wanted to go away from the American mindset forever, because I felt even my own mind and heart being caught in it. But Yahweh said, no, your job is mission to North America, because it is the worst and the ugliest and the most blind and ignorant and insipid set of problems that there is spiritually in this world. You can go out of the country from time to time for encouragement, refreshment, and perspective, but you cannot walk away from the work of mission to North America. And just like Samson was put into God's pocket and taken places that his parents didn't understand, Samson did things and interacted with people and situations that did not look good and right on the surface. But God was using even those faults and problems and mistakes as a way of sending Samson in as a special weapons and tactics PowerPoint. Remember, Samson judged Israel for 20 years. He was in a stature of peace and wholeness over the peoples for 20 years. Have mercy, Yahweh, and allow me to serve you in some capacity like that someday. So, that's the whole package. Mission to North America. This is not baby playtime. This is dead serious. You're surrounded by peoples who are in deadly ignorance, and you're surrounded by peoples who are in selfish and isolated lifestyles that need a friendly hand to begin to open up, so that the dark things do not gain power over their souls, even to death. You, the facilitator, who really has your equipment on right. You are the father and the mother and the nurturer of souls like little children who are in danger. And I invite you to communicate with me. And I thank you for listening if you listened through this whole thing.